Click it. Click it. Oh, wait, we're live. Crap.
Didn't you say that at the beginning of the last one as well? So
Probably. Yeah. Probably. So
that's okay though.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started then. So hopefully we'll have
prepared for this.
Viewers pop in here in a minute. So, welcome to Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards. I'm Liberty Spidell.
I'm Josh Hart.
I'm not prepared.
Is that anything new, Aaron?
No, not really.
Okay, this is probably going to be episode 79 of the show, and today we're delighted to have with us Amy Brock McNew.
Yay.
Hi. Hey, Amy. So, you might recognize Amy. She was in on our show with Aaron DeMott just a few minutes ago as a guest host, but she's also appeared on the show twice before for her Reluctant Warrior series. So, Amy, thanks for coming back and putting up with us again. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a former nurse and waitress who finally got the nerve to write that novel. And now I just cause chaos on the page and apparently terrorize my readers and my characters. So. Oh, and I love cherry vanilla Coke.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody doesn't know that about you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yes, and I also believe that everyone should have a theme song. That's important as well.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
No theme song after all this time.
Theme
Now, Aaron, you know better. You don't get a pass.
Your theme song is Keystone Cops. It works.
Wouldn't my theme song be more something like the Dudley Do-Right theme?
I just heard that in my head.
Don't you have to be Canadian for that one?
Yeah, maybe. Crap. There goes that idea.
Boy.
Star Trek
themes. And the show is already
off
the rails.
There are rails?
Yes.
Yes, George. They're what makes the train go so smoothly. Anyway.
There are rails. They're about 3 miles that way.
Captain, there be whales here.
Rail.
All right. So, Amy.
Yes.
What is your name? What is your quest? And what is your favorite Hailstorm song?
You are evil.
Bonus points if you hum it.
Okay. My name is Amy Brock McNew. We're sure. My quest is to write fantastical tales of love and war and encourage people to never stop fighting. Ooh. And my favorite Hailstorm song, now that's just cruel because, yeah, that's like my favorite band.
I know.
It would have to be I Am the Fire. That's my theme song.
Okay.
Yeah, every time that one pops up in my playlist, I think of Amy.
That or Freak Like Me.
I guess I need to get that one in my playlist now.
I'm biting my tongue. Oh, and we just lost Amy.
Oh dear, we just lost Amy.
Oh no.
How does this manage to happen like every episode? We lose somebody.
I don't know. And this one's live, so you can't even fake it like it didn't happen even. Hey, she's back.
Apparently, my singing broke the internet.
I better not sing then. I'll probably shut down the entire global network.
Should I rectify it with something better? Oh my god.
Wait a second. Do you have a small box with the glowing light on it?
Put it back in Big Ben. Quickly.
For our IT crowd fans, you know what that is.
Everyone else is going, have these people lost their minds? Yes. Long ago.
Pretty sure we have.
A long time ago.
I think that happened before I asked you guys to do the show.
Yes.
There was never any hope.
Moving right along to question number 2.
Oui.
Tell us about your latest release.
My latest release.
Yes, your latest release. Not your second latest release, but your latest release. The very latest one. The one that just came out yesterday? A day or two ago?
Tuesday. And then I've got another one coming out in June. It's crazy.
Oh, wow, you're busy.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm a hybrid, so I've got my self-pub and the publisher going. So a Sleeper is the latest release. It's the first. That's an interesting sound. And I'm usually the one misbehaving. Do I have to use my mom voice on you, Aaron?
Probably.
But yeah, it's the first in this new series that I'm doing called Rise of the Piano. The first time I'm self-publishing, and so that's been an adventure. And this is actually paranormal romance. Up until now, the Reluctant Warrior Chronicles is urban fantasy. Paranormal romance is just a little bit different, more focused on the romance part of it. Of course, that's always a big thing in my book. But it is about a young woman. She believes she's an orphan, and she has strange abilities and feels like there is something else inside of her fighting to get out. And along comes this intriguing, dark. He's not broody. I don't like brooding men. They aggravate me. So I don't write them. But he comes along and tries to begin to explain to her what's going on and who she really is. And everything just snowballs from there. Of course, there's lots of war, lots of battles. I really got to turn loose on the battles with this one. It's pretty graphic violence. So if that's not your thing, of course, this book is not going to be a lot of people's thing that might be listening to the show, or even those that know me. I've got some that, it's just not their cup of tea. This is not in any way a Christian novel. I just kind of let loose. I decided that I was tired of being. I never liked rules. My one of my other mottos is I aim to misbehave. Yes, I stole that from Firefly. And so I just wanted to let loose and just write the story that's been nagging at me with no restrictions. So, and like everything else I write, it's not for everybody, but it's a good story, and I love these characters. They've been with me for a while now, so. But yeah, it's not your normal paranormal romance, I guess you'd say. I don't write like a woman. That's what I've been told. I've been told I write like a man, and I've got a lot of male readers because of, I guess, all the violence. I don't know, and the way I write romance differently. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Really excited. It's been coming for a while.
We could probably go off on a side tangent. Where are all the parents in fiction? They're always gone. They're always orphaned or just not mentioned. Or
not in this one now. In Reluctant Warrior Chronicles, Liz has parents. Now Ryland's parents are dead. And but in Sleeper, mine have parents, not all of them, but a lot of them do.
Okay. So how is it different writing in a loosely Christian genre compared to a hot, steamy shifter romance?
Our younger viewers might want to walk away for this question.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. How is it different? Well, for me, it's not a whole lot different because though Reluctant Warrior Chronicles has Christian themes, it's not technically Christian fiction. Like, you can't find it in Christian categories and booksellers. And a lot of that is because there's some language, there are some sexual situations, there is violence in it, some of it pretty graphic. But with Sleeper, the only difference is that I just really get to unleash, and I don't have to pull myself back, because Reluctant Warrior Chronicles has a certain reputation of, yes, they know that this is going to be violent. There are going to be some adult situations, but it's not something that you really have to worry about, like if the kids pick up the book, With Sleeper, that's not the case. The Rise of the Fianna series is different in that way. but for me, it was just adding a couple to me, it was just adding a couple little details extra that wouldn't have been in the Reluctant Warrior Chronicles. As far as the battles and everything, those are pretty much the same. It's just these tend to be a little more bloody because it's more humanoid forms that are being dismembered and sliced and diced. In Reluctant Warrior Chronicles, you've got it's angels and demons, and I've given the demons black blood and the angels silver, so that makes it a little different than seeing red blood splashed all over the page, which is what it is with Sleeper. So that's a little different, but yeah, it was different not having to constantly think of, oh yeah, I better pull that back a little bit. I didn't. I just was able to let it rip, so that was the big difference.
So what inspired you to write in this genre?
Paranormal romance and urban fantasy are my favorite genres. Paranormal romance is probably number one. And that's mostly what I read. Except for when I'm in the process of writing or editing, I read something else so that I don't have any bleed over, because sometimes your mind just kind of runs with something. And I don't want it to be like anybody else's stuff. And if I feel like it's veering, I've read so much of paranormal romance and urban fantasy, if I feel like it's veering into territory that I've seen too many times before, I will yank it completely. I mean, we'll go 180 in the other direction, and everybody will be like, I don't know what she's doing here, but it's interesting. Never seen it before. That's what I want. So I try to not read the genre that I'm writing when I'm in the actual process of writing. But it's just a love for the unknown, the what ifs, what if there were shifters? What if there were vampires? What if there were dragons? What if people could throw magic? What if it looked like fire? I love that what if, and that's what I love about the genre, that anything can happen. There are so many, there's so fewer rules with this, that if I want a magic system, I can make it any way I want. If somebody throws somebody through a door and it needs to be repaired, they can wave their hand and it's repaired. Just stupid little things like that I like. Those little tiny things that make a difference for me, that you literally do not know what's going to happen, because even within the rules that you set for your world, anything can happen as long as they stay within those rules. And so that's.
If you get bored, you can always pull a Star Trek and bring in a Q or something like that.
Yeah, bring in have a little addendum to the rules of, oh, well, this mage says that, well, technically this is possible if we do this, but so I like that.
So that's my question.
It is.
Okay. To everybody who's listening, Liberty, that question gets asked like 5,000 times on a regular episode, and Liberty usually edits those out so we don't look like complete morons. So yeah, we really are that dumb. Well, speaking for myself anyway, I don't know.
I'll agree with that.
Okay, good. It's not just me. I feel better already. So this is an interesting question for me.
Oh boy.
So, Fianna, am I pronouncing that right?
Fianna.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. Okay. English is fun. So, Fianna was your first foray into self-publishing. How'd that go?
It was interesting.
Interesting how? I'll keep prompting until we get a longer answer than 2 words. 3 words.
It's me. You're getting more than 2 words. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Are you new? But how was the foray? It was tiring, but actually, there was a little more to do. This is what it felt like for me. This was my personal experience. I know it's different for other people. I'm used to blowing and going 24/7. I hardly sleep. If you know me, you can find me up on Facebook at all hours of the night. I don't sleep. I may write in the middle of the night. I may be cleaning the house. So I'm constantly going. My mind is constantly going. I've always got a schedule and something's going on. Something has to be done every day. There's a huge list every day, even outside of my writing. So that just carried over. I run a video production company. I've got a couple other things going aside from the writing too. So I'm used to the craziness. If it was quiet and I didn't have anything to do, I wouldn't know what to do with that. I wouldn't know how to deal with that. So adding the self-publishing aspect, where this time I'm the one hunting down the editor and getting all that taken care of. I'm the one approving every little step on the cover and all of this. I'm the one getting it to the formatter and approving all of that each step. I'm the one uploading and running the AMS ads and, you know, doing all that extra stuff that normally the publisher does. But to me, it wasn't a whole lot different than what I normally do. Now, I know some people don't constantly go like I do. But this is, like I said, this is my only job, and all my kids are grown. So it helps me that I do have a set schedule during the day. I get up and do all my marketing crap in the morning. Marketing crap. That's the technical term. I do all that in the morning, you know, schedule my posts for the day, all that kind of thing. And then in the afternoon is when I write or edit or work on videos, whatever's going on, depends on if I have a contract. And then through the rest of the day, like usually I'll fix supper and then go right back to writing or editing or doing this if I'm in a busy time on my schedule. But yeah, it hasn't been a whole lot different for me than a usual day. I mean, there's been more, and there's a little bit more stress, obviously, because you're wondering, okay, is Amazon going to approve my ebook? And is this file, you know, high res enough? And blah, 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 blah. You know, there's a lot of other things to worry about. But as long as you keep a schedule, and I still have an actual paper planner as well as having everything on my phone. And I've got yes, and I've got Google. I've even got Google connected to everything. So like my Kindle, my phone, my music phone, and my computer will all ding at me at the same time to tell me it's time to do something. Or you know.
I can just imagine everything's quiet. Ding!
Yeah. All of a sudden everything starts buzzing and going off, you know, because usually I've just got it all set to vibrate or whatever. So like the whole house is vibrating. There's stuff everywhere.
Quick!
Yeah.
Reminds me of that scene in Back to the Future when all the clocks go off at once.
Yep, definitely.
Oh,
which Liberty still hasn't seen.
What?
I know. I still have not had. I have not. No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right, Josh. I'll bring the movie. You bring the duct tape. Road trip to Liberty's house.
Let's do it.
You have to find it first.
There's that.
So
okay, so
next question, please.
Quick bonus question.
Oy.
What was your most interesting technical challenge with self-publishing?
There
the
was
Jeopardy theme song.
I know. I didn't really have any technical issues, except for the back and forth on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Garwood, my cover designer with Wicked Women Designs, is freaking amazing. She's fantastic.
I love the cover for that.
She gave me exactly what I wanted, and that is 2 composite photos. That's not one shot, a couple shots that they did together. So she did an actual. She just did a phenomenal job with it.
Nice.
But it's the back and forth on that, and having to. It was annoying having to, not annoying. I guess that's the wrong word. Tedious. There's the word, tedious. Having to look at every single detail, at every word, you know, and blowing it up and make sure everything's just right. But other than that, everything, I mean, I didn't have any issues uploading anything. I didn't have any issues with anything going live. I didn't really have any issues on this one, so I'm going to knock on wood.
Awesome. The reason I ask is I've talked to a couple of different people who've had just horror stories trying to get the stuff up to Amazon, and they've had issues here, there, and everywhere throughout the whole process. So I was just wondering how that went. So awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Amy, why did you decide to self-publish Fiona, and why not go traditional again?
Because I knew the publishing industry better, and I knew that I had the connections and that I had the knowledge to be able to do it properly now. Whereas when I first started 2 years ago, I wouldn't have. No way. I didn't know anything. I still don't know everything. I'm learning every day. If you're not learning every day, you're stagnating. There's something wrong. Anyway, there's my 2 cents, after school special thought for the day. And
yeah, I totally agree on the stagnation. If you're not learning something every day,
yeah, and
you're not growing.
Yeah, and since I had learned so much more about the industry and knew what it entailed, of what publishing a book entailed, I was better prepared, and I had made those connections to where boom, 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 I had everything lined up, and I was just like, you know what? A publisher, actually, when I get down to brass tacks, they don't do as much for you as they used to. Unless you're a huge author, even the big houses don't do, you're pretty much left with doing your marketing and everything. Because they just don't do a lot of that anymore because of social media and other avenues that we have. And so I thought, you know what, why not? Let's cut out the middleman. And then that way you know me, I like control. I like to have the power, and I don't like rules, and I don't like being told what to do. So with this, I was able to just, there's a certain framework I have to work into, and you have to have an editor, and there are rules of grammar and all that.
Rules.
Yeah, as far as content and where I wanted to go with the story, how I wanted it to look, how I wanted the cover to look, I wanted control over that. I had a very specific idea in mind for these covers, for the story, and I wanted to be able to do that with no restrictions. That was the main thing. Yeah, the main thing is just I wanted to misbehave and do what I wanted to do. That's the God's honest truth.
All right. So with that being the case, how has marketing been different between the Reluctant Warrior Chronicles and Rise of the Fianna?
Not a whole lot different.
Okay.
Because I pretty much exhaust every avenue available to me. The big difference is this time I'm learning AMS ads, which, if you don't know, are Amazon ads, which you can only do that if you're the publisher of the book. So I wasn't able to do that with the Warrior Chronicles. So that's one thing that I'm really, really learning on the fly, and Liberty's helping me with that. We've had many questions. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. And she pulled me back off the edge of a cliff, or kept me from going ape and causing mass chaos. But the only big difference is the Amazon ads. Everything else, I do book trailers. I have, I already make teasers and everything. I post on every social media. There's a new one, MeWe. I've even gotten on it. Seems to be getting a little traction there, so that's maybe a new avenue. There's a couple other websites that I'm going to be trying, but the marketing really hasn't been that different because there's a lot of audience overlap between the two series. Now there are several that read Warrior Chronicles that will not read the Rise of the Fianna series. Period. Yeah. No, ain't happening. I was aware of that. I knew that. But there's also this segment that will read Rise of the Fianna that wouldn't read Reluctant Warrior Chronicles because it's got just a hair too much of a religious tone in it for their particular taste. So finding that overlap and catering to that overlap, and then finding those new readers, that's been kind of interesting to see what works and what doesn't with that. But other than that, not much difference.
Okay.
Aaron? I think
it's me again. I thought I was having the next one. Oh, well. Yes, this happens a lot. I'm off in La La Land.
It's my turn. It's my turn now.
Oh, you're going to ask yourself a question? All right.
Oh, okay. That works.
I don't think so.
Don't put her on the spot like that.
I had just found my spot in this document.
Anyway. Don't ask me to ask myself questions. Dude, I'm crazy enough in here as it is. Don't add to it, man.
So, you had a huge launch party the night of Fianna. I can't say that for some reason. It's not that hard, really. It isn't. Fianna.
It's from Celtic myth. It's a people.
I know, it's not that hard. I don't know why I'm tripping over it. Anyway. Yeah, you had a huge launch party the night of the release. How did you go about finding all the authors to join up?
I put out a little post on Facebook and said, hey, y'all want to join in this party with me? And a bunch of them kicked in, and I'd already talked to a couple of them specifically that I had asked to be in it that wrote in the same genre. So I knew that there is grabbing that fan base over here that would read Sleeper that would not read Warrior Chronicles. So that was my reasoning in asking specifically, other than that they're great friends. That was one of my reasons in specifically asking these three people to join in the party. And after that, I mean, I actually had to turn a few people away because I only had so many time slots, and I was already running from 5 till 11, and that's
That's a really long party.
Well, the whole point of it was,
I imagine it worked nicer while going longer, like because people that can catch the beginning but not the end, and vice versa.
We had better response because, and especially with the different time zones. East Coast tended to be the ones that were viewing a little bit earlier up until about 8 o'clock, and then you've got your West Coast and your mountain people that are coming in from 8 o'clock and after, because it's dinner time for them. It's like 5 and on.
Yeah, working second shift and 410s. I don't get to go to as many of these parties as I would like, and
So it just seems to work better when you spread it out a little bit like that. And we were able to do more during the party. I posted. I had my time slot, and then I had a slot earlier where I went live, and then I was able to post like Sleeper trivia throughout the night and give away little tiny prizes and that kind of stuff, little tidbits about the characters and things, instead of just having it all concentrated in my one half hour or whatever. So that was pretty cool. It worked out well.
Yeah, I know I was busy that night, but it was crazy to watch how many people were there, and it was also for me, it was kind of weird because it felt like you had these two very different markets that we're playing in. I mean, you had the Janine Ippolito and the Deanna Fugit, who write pretty solidly Christian stuff, but then you had the ones that, I mean, some of the questions were like, I wouldn't want to answer that in public.
Yeah,
I know a couple of mine. I was like, and that's why I put a warning on the party. I was like, and I told Deanna, and of course Janine edited it, so she knew what she was getting into.
Right.
But that's why I put a warning on the party. I said 18 and up only. I mentioned that several times, and I mentioned to my friends that are solidly in the Christian genre, whether readers or writers, that hey, Fianna, the Fianna, Rise of the Fianna is not going to be the series for you. I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to be offended, and I'm also not going to be offended if you attend the party, because this is going to be an 18 and up party. There are going to be some authors there that write things that you would not read, and that would possibly offend you. So I've been very upfront about that, not just with the party, but with the story. And I'm not offended if somebody that's loyal to the War Chronicles says, I can't read Fianna. I've had a couple of those, and they were all worried I was going to be upset. I'm like, do you people know me at all? I value honesty. I'd rather you tell me, hey, dude, I just can't read this. This is just not my thing. And I'm like, hey, that's cool. Because you know what? Here's a secret. I don't like contemporary romance. 90% of my friends write contemporary romance.
I know that feeling.
And there's very few that I will read anyway, and some of them the premise intrigues. Like one of them recently that I've still got to get the review out for, called Fighting Weight. It's about dealing with anorexia, and some of you know I've dealt with that my entire life. So contemporary books that deal with things like that, I'm more likely to read, or like rock star books, tattoo artists, and then cowboys. I don't know why. But, you know, I will tell them the same thing that people tell me, you know, about Sleeper, that, it's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem with that, because everybody likes different genres. It's like trying to force somebody to listen to a certain kind of music. No, everybody has different likes and tastes. And I understand that. It doesn't bother me at all. I completely expect that.
You mean we're not supposed to force Aaron to listen to rap?
Gangster rap. Now, there's a difference.
Yes.
We could tie him, that's how we torture Aaron. We tie him down and force him to listen to a gangster rap. But yeah, I always try to put out the warnings, and because I knew that spread was going to be there. We've got Christian YA over here, and we have borderline erotica over here. So
one of these things,
that's one of these things just doesn't belong here. Yeah. Apparently, I'm the songstress today. I don't know what's gotten into me.
Our insanity is infectious.
That's not just today.
Everything is song lyrics or Friends quotes or Firefly quotes.
Yes.
So we're going to shift gears just a tiny bit. Resilience from the Reluctant Warrior Chronicles is coming out soon. What's up for Liz next?
Oh, she's laughing. It's never going to know if he's laughing. Run, people, run.
Oh, this is, I say delightful for me. Resilience was very difficult to write. We all know that the 50% of Reluctant Warrior Chronicles is me. The personal part of Liz is me. In Reconciliation, her past came back to haunt her. And in Resilience, it comes back even stronger. She is forced into a situation on a mission. Her and Rylan this time are forced into a situation on a mission that they may not survive. And spoiler alert, I'm sure most people have read right by now, they are married now. They have just gotten married.
Yay.
And already things are getting interesting.
She's laughing again. This isn't good.
They are things that they have to deal with that other people don't. And so, things can get on shaky ground pretty quickly. Especially when Ryland is completely against Liz going on this particular mission for a variety of reasons. And they've just had something happen. I can't give away what it is, but they've just had something happen that's got them both on shaky ground, and rightly so.
She's pregnant.
The thing that happened was something that happened to me, so it was very difficult to write about.
I actually threw my e-reader.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I actually threw my e-reader across the room twice when betaing this.
Oh my.
I got some messages on this one of, why are you doing this, kids? And I was like, you know what? These kids are just going through what I went through. And this is what it was like. This is what it felt like for me. And this was, even though, I had written about my attack in Reconciliation, something about the topic that we're dealing with in Resilience was just more. It was worse. It was harder on me to deal with. And then, but there's a light side to it, because I was able, since it's fiction, towards the end, I give them what I never got.
Ooh, that's nice.
What I always wished would happen, what I still wish would happen in a certain situation in my life. And when you read the book, you'll understand, something that I still wish for, even though I can't get that time back that has passed. And I'm trying to do this without giving everything away. But yeah, so it was, the kids have a lot in store. I call them the kids because this is basically me when I was younger. It's rough. And things aren't going to be pretty for them for quite some time, but there's always a light there. Mm-hmm. There's always a light. And though everything may not end up the way that they wanted it to, there's still a lot of good in their life and a lot of blessings. Mm-hmm. So we get to follow them on this journey that sadly many of us have been on. And I think they deal with it as best as they can in their situation. They've got the added thing of having demons coming at them, and being marked by hell for death. So that adds a little stress.
A little bit. No, just a wee bit.
But yeah, that's what's in store for them is and then at the very end, the last chapter, the epilogue, is something that people do not need to skip because
who would skip an epilogue?
Yeah.
I'm downright.
Every once in a while, the people skip prologues and epilogues. Why?
Yeah. I'm downright evil in this epilogue.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
If you think it's been bad till now, you just wait.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's how I feel with the epilogue I wrote for my next Darby Shaw book. So.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Josh is sitting here going, yeah.
Josh hasn't even read mine yet.
So I actually, for those of you who don't know, I'm a storyteller, so it comes out. But I actually woke my wife up when I was betaing this and shook my e-reader and said, "I hate Amy right now." At that point.
Oh boy.
Let me see. Well,
so I'm the only one here right now who likes happy endings and stuff, right?
I give happy for now, or kind of, sort of, maybe happy for now. We're not really sure. I don't do ATAs. Oh, and just so you know, just this one last little thing, because the playlist is out there. It's always out there, and those are the chapter titles. Everybody knows this about me. The chapter of the epilogue. For those Reluctant Warrior Chronicle fans, this is really gonna hit you. You're gonna love this one. The title is called "Breaking Out of Hell."
Ooh!
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll leave you with that little gem, and you can chew on it.
Nice.
Next question.
So, when does Resurgence come out?
In June.
Do you have a firm date yet, or is it just
June-ish?
On Friday, we will reveal the cover, and we will reveal the release date.
Ooh.
So we are keeping
stay tuned until Friday.
Under
wraps.
Yes, wraps. That's the word. The word. The writers
that word.
We're
Have
live,
you looked in the couch for the release date?
No, but we're keeping that under wraps. It will be in June.
June.
Yes. Sooner rather than later.
Of this year.
Of 2018, like within
6 weeks.
2 months, this book will be 6 weeks. This book will be out to the market.
Okay.
Within that time period, we shall see. No, 8 weeks. But it's coming. Yes, it's coming, and it has a release date set. So,
speaking of playlists, what's on your playlist right now?
What's on my playlist right now? I think I've still got Sleeper pulled up because I've been doing all that work with it, and so I've been trying to keep my mind. Whoa, hey, I'm not sure what that is, but
what?
Stop. No, actually, I have the Resilience playlist up. Because I have been working on the blurb and things like that. So we have
Resilience playlist.
We have the first chapter is Bang Bang by Rammstein, or Fair Fray if you're into German. Zach Brown Band, Five Finger Death Punch, of course, Gemini Syndrome. The Beatles, which I don't really like the Beatles, and everybody can rail against me that I don't like Pink Floyd or Rush either. So there you go.
I don't like Pink Floyd either.
I like one or two of their songs.
Yeah, I like
Same
one
thing
or
with
two.
the Beatles, one or two of their songs, but the rest it's kind of
Well, I can give my readers hope.
I like Rush's music. It's just I just can't stand the sound of their lead singer's voice.
Yeah,
It's like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Because you know how the playlist, the songs go along with what's happening in the chapter. There is one chapter, y'all, called "Here Comes the Sun."
Yep.
So there's
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
And then the next one is "I Shall Believe" and by Sheryl Crow, and "Art of Dying" is "Get Through This" by Art of Dying. So then there's "River of Fire," and my all-time favorite song ever made it on this playlist. I've been waiting for the perfect chapter for this song, "Wild Horses" by the Rolling Stones.
Sweet.
Of course, then you've got "In the Air Tonight" by In This Moment, a remix by In This Moment. "Take It All Away" by Red. So. Take Out the Gunman by Chevelle, "The Show Must Go On" by Queen, and then the song that pretty much sums up the book, "Way Down We Go" by Kaleo, and "Devil's Playground" by the Riggs. And then, and this has already been revealed, a character that we have needed to meet for a while and we knew was coming, Lucifer, is coming in Resurgence. And so I've got the title track from the Lucifer show by Heavy Young Heathens on here. And then we've got Metallica, "Am I Savage?" "What Have You Done" by Within Temptation. "Another Heart" by Tremonti. "Unsteady" by Ex-Ambassadors. So we know things are about to get emotional. "Even More Human Than Human." It's a remix by the Executioners. So yeah. "Beyond Good and Evil" by Audio Machine. "Girl on Fire," the Rinholder mix from Rob Zombie. Korn, "Black is the Soul." And then the last one I'll mention is Liz and Ryland's theme for the whole series. It's "Undivided" by Adelita's Way. So you really need to listen to that and you'll get Liz and Ryland.
Sweet.
Okay. Wow.
A varied mix, yes.
Very varied.
From country to metal to classical, you never know what you're going to find. It's all about how it fits.
That's kind of how my playlists go too. So Amy, what are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? The Bayou Sticks series by Skye Turner and Fighting to Win by Jillian Adams, which is the book about anorexia that I told you about. Bayou Sticks is a rocker contemporary series. It's awesome, and it's set in Louisiana. So you know, I'm Southern girl. I'm missing my Louisiana right now. And then I'm also, now that I'm not technically writing right now, I'm rereading the Dark Protector series by Rebecca Zanetti because she's got her new one coming out next month, I believe. And then I'm also reading, I just started Lawless by Janine Ippolito, and I've got one more going. And I can't for the life of me think of what it is.
That's okay.
But I usually have like 5 or 6 books going at a time in different genres. That way, for whatever I'm in the mood for, because you never know what I'm going to be in the mood to read. And so, the Montana Lawman or Cowboy Justice or something like that. Anyway, it's a contemporary thing, but it's set in Montana.
That sounds different than the rest.
Is that what Longmire is based off of?
Do what?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Longmire is by Craig Johnson. It's
but it's
like police. It's police procedural, like basically in the West. So with a sheriff.
Yeah. Okay. And there's there's romance though.
Is there a talking horse?
Hello.
This ain't Mr. Ed.
Yes.
Oh dear.
I should write sometime a contemporary Western with a talking horse. All the contemporary Western genres, only a talking horse. And people would be like, wait, what?
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah, I know.
Like nobody, there'd be like a market of 2 people on the entire planet would love that book.
You want to know something that still is my favorite books of all time is the House of Winslow series by Gilbert Morris, and it's historical fiction. I love it. You never know what I'm going to read, so that's why I have there's my Kindle carousel. Kindle carousel looks like I have multiple personality disorder.
I totally hear you.
Yeah, so does my music, so, you know.
Yep. So, what are you writing now, or what will you be writing coming up?
I am writing right now Resurgence, which is 3.5 in Reluctant Warrior Chronicles, and it is
3.5.
People know this. Only a few people know this. It's Mac and Andy's story.
Yes. 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 Finally.
And
Josh excited.
I have to say, since I mentioned that, Andy is based on a real life character, a young woman, and I'm looking over there because there's an award that we get from that me and my husband won in her name from a group that we volunteer with called A1M that does puts on Christian rock shows and does different things in the community, great things in the community, and it was the Andrea Pavey Joy Award. And so I was blessed to be able to win that award that was created in her honor. She's a young woman that used to work with us at A1M that passed away well before her time. And but Andy is real. And sorry. She
Don't apologize.
She was a darling. And just love her so. Didn't get to know her as well as I wanted to, but I've gotten to know her sister and her mom very, very well, and her family approved the use of her as inspiration for this story. And I put a lot of her in it. She's a loudmouth, cantankerous, stubborn, loving, big-hearted, do anything for you Southern girl, and she gives Mac a run for his money, I'm telling you. and I just wanted all that fire and that passion and that love and that joy that, like, when Andy walked in a room, it lit up. And that's what I wanted to put into this character. And I wanted to do her justice. Like, everybody gravitated around Andy when she was in the room. And she would, like I said, she would just do anything for anybody. Like, she could be cantankerous and stubborn and everything, but it was usually for the right reasons. And her joy was infectious, and in a good way. And I've made her in this. You know, if you met her at the end of Reconciliation, she runs a rescue house in New Orleans for young women that either have been pulled out of trafficking or in other situations like that. Not every one of them are trafficking victims. And that, to me, just seemed natural because that seems like something Andy would do. Mm-hmm. So I'm working on that story, and that one is hard. It's called Resurgence. I would guess it's not going to be out until winter. It's going to be a little bit on that. And possibly early spring of next year. And then I'm also writing Awakened, which is book 2 in the Rise of the Fianna series. I'm continuing with that. And then I'm also working on another book that's probably going to be a series of standalones. But I know that sounds weird to say series of standalones, but you can pick and choose out of them that, like, they'll be in, like, the same town or area, and some of the characters will overlap, but you won't
follow the same characters in this book to book.
It's not going to spoil anything to you. The first book is called Crossroads, and it is going to be it's going to be, once again, writing that fine line between paranormal romance and urban fantasy. So by me calling it Crossroads, and I'm sure a lot of you know where this is going, but it's going to be completely different from what you've ever seen before. I've never seen this, even on Supernatural. Yeah, they didn't do this. This is about to get crazy up in here. But I'm working on that, and then I'm also working on another. I'm trying to decide if it's going to be a short story, if it's going to be a novella, if it's going to be a book. And if anybody else comes up with anything with this idea, then I will know that we have recorded proof that I've said it first, and I'm going to kill somebody. No. I'm going to be out for some heads. I mean, yeah.
You can't edit that out, and your lawyer might want to review this later.
No, not going to happen. You know, I'll probably just give you a big gib smack, you know. Not so for you. It's based on a song, and it's Blown Away by Carrie Underwood. And I got to thinking, what if it's about a girl that her dad's drunk and there's a tornado coming and she's hiding in the cellar. Her mom's already dead. And she doesn't warn him. She just lets the tornado take him and stays in the cellar. And if you hear the whole song, you would understand why. You would probably feel that way too. But my thought was, what if she created the storm?
Ooh.
And expand that whole story. So I'm kind of tinkering around with that too.
Sweet.
Interesting.
And that's all I think right now.
Oh, you're just, working on 200 projects. That's all.
Just a few.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well,
sweet.
before we go on to our final question, now would be the time for anybody who's listening live to get in your listener questions.
Yep, I don't have anything yet, so I don't know. Maybe people are having problems. Maybe we're covering all the questions that people want to ask, or
maybe we're just that good and we've asked them.
Or maybe we're having some technical difficulties that I'm unaware of. So if that
Which is par for the course.
If that's the case, we apologize. This is all kind of new to us, so we hope that we figure this out by the next time, which might be Lindsay Franklin, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know yet.
Yes. We'll get back to you.
Yeah. So
Eventually. When we have the spare time.
Yes.
So,
all right, Aaron, you're up to bat.
I am. It's mine already.
Swing, bada, swing.
Where can readers go to find your work?
Oh my gosh. You can, Amazon is my main place. Now, Sleeper is only on Amazon, and it's in KU. So, and that's the way that
if anybody doesn't know what KU is, do you want to explain it to them?
Yes,
it's not a swear word.
Kindle Unlimited is essentially a virtual library. You pay, I think it's like $10 a month. I'm not sure. It just comes off my card.
I got the profanity buzzer working finally.
We haven't needed it yet. I can start to say something and give you a chance to do it if you want me to. But yeah, Kindle Unlimited is essentially an online library. You pay $10 a month, and you can read all the books you want. You can only have 10 books out at a time. But boy, it sounds like I do ads for them or something. I've done stuff like this all my life, so it's natural. But yeah, it's very interesting. And once authors put their books in there, it can't be available anywhere else. So hence the exclusivity for Amazon. But since that's where I do most of my sales anyway, I didn't see that was going to be a big problem for me. Now, as far as where else you can get my books, the Reluctant Word Chronicles are available at Kobo, iBooks, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, pretty much every retailer. They are in Barnes & Noble stores, and they're in a couple Books A Million stores, I think. But I know you can order them. And then, so that's where you can get them. There's a couple local bookstores that they're in, but I don't know if you want to travel to Kokomo or Indiana to find those.
It's a shorter drive for me than the other two.
True.
So, well, thanks for coming on and sharing with us, Amy. It's been a blast as always.
Indeed.
It has. Yes. It's been fun. Good way to spend the morning.
Yes. So.
Yes.
So, and we're really good on time too. So.
Yep.
All right.
So
on time, it's a minor miracle.
Okay.
And thank you to all of our listeners, both today with our first live shows and for those who have been with us since the beginning. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much. It has been nearly 2.5 years since we started this exciting project, and
Liberty.
I've been on what is this? My fourth time?
Third time as a guest.
We haven't lost a guest yet.
Third time as a guest.
First time as a host. So
yes.
Technically 4 episodes.
Yeah. So we will have links to Amy's previous shows in our show notes. And I don't even know what numbers those are, but I'll dig them out by the time I
don't remember.
write up the show notes. So this should be episode 79. It might be 80 or 82 2. I don't know, but we'll see. So thanks again to everybody. So thanks again to everybody who's been watching us today, and we will catch you later.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
So long.